Okay, everyone. We are back after a week off. Had some personal stuff going on, but we're back this week with another episode of Nerdcamp Sports. I got me, Mike Williams here, Raja Anthony Ali here. How you feeling today, my brother?
Man, feeling great. Feeling great. Excited to talk about sports, man. How's everything with you?
Can't complain. A little tired. Had a real busy weekend. Was all over the place. Appeared on a podcast. Went to a listening party.
Wow, a lot going on.
Went out to dinner with my uncle. Me and the wife went out to breakfast. We just did a lot of stuff. So long weekend, but good stuff. Had a lot of fun. Good, always good to just enjoy time, not at work.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot happened. Got a lot to try and get to. We're going to get to as much as we can.
Okay.
But I wanted to start with Luka Doncic. He's taken a lot of I don't know the right word. He's taken a lot of steps to make sure that he's healthier for the upcoming season. What are your thoughts on the things that he's done, and how do you think this will help the Lakers when the season comes about?
Yeah, I honestly think, Luka now taking the game a little bit more serious than he did last season. Somebody I truly admire. I think he's like top 5 when it comes down to talent in the league. Someone I truly believe is probably one of the best in the game right now. But now he's trimmed down. He's looked great. He's on the cover of Men Health magazine. He's on different type of he's looking towards different types of accolades going into this next season as a second year with the Lakers. So I'm looking forward to see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing Luka be at the MVP level. We don't know if LeBron's coming back. We don't know if he's going to play with the Lakers or not. But what I will say is, with Luka entering his prime and still with the Lakers, this is the greatest opportunity for him to win a championship and potentially some MVPs. So why not take it serious? Why not, lose the necessary weight that you need to get in shape and to get back to where you were when you first started in the NBA? And then on top of that, why not push to win a championship? This is it. So I think we're going to see a lot of changes in the NBA moving forward. But with Luka Doncic now being at the greatest shape of his life, we're definitely going to see him, be probably one of the best in the league, man. So I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, for those who don't know, the European Cup is coming up soon. It's coming up next month. I believe it's August 3rd or August 2nd. I got to check the date. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, there are going to be a lot of superstars playing in that. It's going to be Luka Doncic. It's going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic. There's a lot of superstars that are in our league in the NBA that's going to be playing in that cup. And a lot of people are saying that's going to be the most intense competition outside of the NBA, even more intense than the competition in the Olympics. And even people like Denny Avia on the Portland Trailblazers said he takes this cup very serious. He takes it more serious than the actual NBA title because it's his country that he's representing. So just want to throw that out there real quick.
I agree with the sentiment with Luka on the offensive side. Regardless of how good he looks, how lean he gets, he's still a liability defensively. And unfortunately, because he's not a defender. He does not play good defense at all. So, unless he's scoring 40 or more a night, he's always going to be a liability defensively. Right, and technically, he is the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I think of him more as a forward, but technically he is the point guard. So you're gonna go up against, guys who are able to not only just do what a point guard's supposed to do, but throw up points.
Right.
Um, and the Lakers just need some more. I mean, they went out there and they signed Marcus Smart.
Which is taking care of the defensive problems they had on the front court. I mean the
Absolutely.
back court. Excuse me.
Because he sure as hell ain't gonna give you 30 points a night.
No, no,
He
he's
gonna
not there
give
for
you
that.
he gonna give you good defense,
Mm-hmm.
some steals, maybe 7 to 10 points, some assists.
Right.
So that's a good pickup. But my only issue, with Luca is just defensively, you're still a liability. And then the other concerning thing is when you look at something else you said, it just slipped my mind. Lakers. When you look at them winning the championship,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know if LeBron's going to be there. Regardless, it's a distraction. So
Right.
the heat of already being in Los Angeles, especially as a Laker, is heavy enough. But now to know that your guy, one of your top players, might not be there
Right.
and is unhappy or whatever the situation is, it could create some turmoil. Hopefully, they can get it under the to rest before October comes or September, whenever they start the new season.
Yeah.
But it's just there's just some stuff still behind the scenes that could come out on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, though, the Lakers, excuse me, could overcome that. They still need a big man. Did they sign? They didn't sign one, did they?
Yeah, they signed Aiden.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They signed him, and I forgot that they
Yeah.
signed him. I don't know if that's a needle mover for them. I'm hoping that he can bring something that a former first round pick is or a first overall pick because he went first overall, right?
Yeah, first overall. Yep. The
I'm
same
hoping,
draft for Luka.
yeah, I'm hoping someone who went first overall can bring a little more to the table and help the Lakers get to where it is they need to go.
Right.
And we're gonna see it in action a little bit with the European Cup coming.
Yeah.
Good time for him to test out what he's been doing, some stuff he's been working on.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see what happens with that. But Lakers just really need to get it together. I mean, and then on top of that, they sold the team too. You got to keep that in mind.
Oh, of course. Yeah, there's a lot that happened this offseason. A lot that happened this season in general. And you're right. There's a lot of changing pieces when it comes down to ownership, when it comes down to new parts that they added with Marcus Smart. When you talk about DeAndre Ayton being on the team now, and now they're trying to get back in that contending spot. But what I will say is this: if they can find a way, to trade LeBron, that would be the biggest blessing for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm not saying it from a standpoint of just me being an anti-LeBron guy, but I'm saying as far as, like you mentioned, the distraction. They'll free up a lot of the bandwidth that's happening right now because no one knows what's going to go on with LeBron. But what I would do is I would trade him and get as much assets as I can and trade him to whatever team he wants to go to. If you want to go back to Cleveland, fine. Make sure you find some assets that's going to help the Lakers long term. If he wants to go, play with Steph Curry, fine. Bring on some assets that's going to help him win a championship in Los Angeles. Regardless, you need to find a way to get LeBron out of the picture as soon as possible, because there's no Laker fan that I know that wants him there, and there's nobody in the league cares more about LeBron moving on to another team than the actual media. And that's something I think is important, just so they can just get over with, let him move on with his chapter and retire.
Mm. Well, I think I can see that. They definitely need to. Excuse me. They definitely need to figure out what they're gonna do, and I think they could actually win a lot if they trade him to the right place.
Oh yeah, yeah. If he goes, I would say this: if I am the Golden State Warriors, right now, I
Right.
might be pulling out my shoulder on this, but I can see it happening. I'm trading Jonathan Kuminga. I'm trading Brandon Przinski and possibly a future first round pick. I don't know what year, don't ask, but I would trade that for LeBron James. Now I know that's not as far as cap wise equal, but I don't have my trade machine in front of me, so I can't tell you. But I'm saying the type of move I would make because we
Right.
know Jonathan Kuminga don't want to stay there. We know that they also need a piece to match the cap for the Lakers and also the Warriors. So they've probably traded away a young star on their team or a young, starter on their team,
Right.
and that would be perfect. And then now Steph Curry and LeBron can play in their twilight of their careers,
True. But
and
the,
you
the
get
only
you get
the only
Jonathan
problem
Kuminga.
only problem would be it don't matter their ages. We know what everyone's gonna want
Oh, of
to be.
course, yeah, they won a championship, but come on, we just watched the youngest team in NBA history win a championship last season. It's obvious that it's up for anybody's game, but you got to also be willing to play the type of basketball to keep up with OKC.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Well, it's gonna because and then also every year it seems like a new team's been stepping up.
Yeah, for the past like 4 seasons. Yeah.
Well, no, we've had 7 different champions. Like in the
Oh
past
wow.
7 years, it's been
Oh, that's
seven.
incredible. I didn't know it was that many times. Wow.
Yeah, 7 different champions. There's been no repeats, no like similar champions in that time. So, for all we know, hell, next year, I don't know, the Knicks could win. You never know.
Yes,
Like
up for
just
grabs for anybody, which is good. That's what you want in the NBA.
absolutely. So we're jumping a little all over today, but the New York Jets, man.
My Jets.
They these dudes just can't stay out of their own way.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
First,
bad.
first day of training camp, his own teammate steps on his foot and
Yep.
hurts his toe.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this injury?
My first initial thought, Mike, was this is the most Jets thing that can happen.
Oh, it's so bad.
This is the most Jet thing that can happen. I mean, you watched it last 2 seasons ago with Aaron Rodgers going down on the first game.
4 plays.
Now this happens. We got a brand new quarterback. I don't really care for Justin Fields. You know how I feel about him. I was never a fan. But I said, you know what? Why not? Give him a try. He's on your team. Let's see what happens. The worst case scenario, you lose all your games and you go back into the drafts. Number one, right? So okay. So now he goes out there first day and he gets his foot stepped on and his toe is injured. They're saying, according to multiple news reports, they're saying that it's not that severe, but he did get carted off. I don't know if I can buy that. I think it's more serious than what they're saying. I think they're just trying to make sure that the fan base don't panic. But to round it all over, to give you my full take on it, I feel like the Jets, this is a throwaway season. So even if Justin Fields is actually, no pun intended, on the field, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm not looking for any type of wins. I'm not looking for division wins. I'm not looking for, of course, not a Super Bowl. So if we lose all of our games this season, I'm cool with that. I just want to just get out of the situation that we're in and just find a new quarterback. That's all.
Well, there's a little bit to unpack. When I look at the Jets, um, you know, did I believe that Justin Fields is the right move for them? No. Do I think he deserves an opportunity, a fair one? Yes. But I also think that this injury really is just like a wake up call, and
Right.
not nothing in a bad way, but just like, okay, we need to get serious and, excuse me, understand what we're up against. You know,
Right.
you're really in a situation where it's just like you're not going to be able to win your division because of Buffalo.
Yep.
Miami's still going to compete with you.
Exactly.
The Patriots are gonna. I think they'll be a little better this season. I don't think
Yeah.
there will be a significant jump. I could be wrong, but I do believe that Drake May is going to be their guy. I do believe that Diggs can still play, still has something to offer.
Right.
Um, I think they made some other moves that I just can't think of at the moment.
Yeah, but
But
those are the two majors.
right, so I do believe they'll be competitive. So when I look at the Jets and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the play? What's the thing that's gonna get us to the next level?
Hmm.
And you got Garrett Wilson there. You got Brees Hall.
Yep.
Who needs to play a hell of a lot better this season than he did last season.
Right.
And you really have to. It all comes down to what Justin Fields can offer you. Because what he gave the Steelers last year in 5 games or 6 games, I think it was 5, 4-1. And almost, honestly, should have been 5-0. Had
Hmm.
they not shot themselves in the foot, in that game against the Colts. Um, I just think that they really need to. I don't think the season's a throwaway
Right.
in terms of them able to compete. It is a throwaway, and in their demeanor to want to go where they want to go.
Yeah.
Ultimately, all 32 teams have the same goal: win the Super Bowl. 31 teams will be losers or fall short of that.
Right.
So I think the Jets just really need to take the year because there's a reason why he's got an option after the first year.
Yeah.
You know, they definitely understand that this isn't the final decision.
Right.
And in all honesty, the Jets have not had a franchise quarterback in years.
And that's the problem. Every time that we do feel like we have a franchise quarterback, some wacky things like this happen, like either an injury before the first start of the game or a toe injury, like they're talking about with Justin Fields. Goes back to the Mark Sanchez days. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to, you know, this Jets team is snake bitten when it comes down to finding a franchise quarterback. But I will say this: Justin Field can play at least decent, then he'll be able to get a second year contract. Find a way to stay on the Jets team. Even though I'm not a fan of that because I'd rather them just see what he got. And if he plays good, he plays good. And I'd rather them move on to find a franchise quarterback. But what better opportunity than play good and then stay with the team? I'm a little bit more open to it if he plays decent. But if he plays terrible, just throw the whole team away. Go find a quarterback in the draft. That's my thoughts.
My wife just said all that over a fucking toe.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's another thing. It's like I'm not surprised because we have people out for less. even though that's a terrible, terrible, terrible injury. It's such a minute
especially,
injury.
especially for a running quarterback.
Yeah, mobile quarterback. Yeah, you kind of need that toe.
Yeah, like I don't know if you remember a few years ago when Aaron Rodgers broke his toe and just showed it on live TV.
Yeah, that was disgusting. See, that's
Yo,
what I'm saying.
it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, see
Don't
that.
nobody need to see your freaking toes.
See, that's what
Stephen
I'm
A was
saying.
even ready to throw up on that one. He was like, I'm just like,
Oh man.
horrible, horrible.
Yeah.
So I'll save that topic for R&B. Uh, so there was something I seen on First Take a couple weeks ago. Well, last week,
Okay.
talking about the best. If you had to pick out of all the teams in California in the NBA, who would you say is the what team would you pick to be the best one? So that would mean we're talking about the Lakers, the Clippers, the
Yep.
Kings, and the
Hmm.
Warriors. Who would you pick of those four teams and why?
Right now,
As presently constructed, yes.
and this is going to sound like a hot take, but I gotta roll with the Clippers, man.
Okay.
I gotta roll with the Clippers, and I'm not, throwing shade at the Lakers. I'm not throwing shade at the Kings, even though that's like my second and third choice. Or even the Warriors. I believe in the Warriors too. But here's the thing about the Warriors. The Warriors, they're top heavy. They got Jimmy Butler. They got Steph Curry still. They still got Draymond Green. But you also got to remember, they are only limited to what the bench and the rest of the role players can do.
Right.
Okay, so there's not a lot of stuff that they can actually do, because they don't really have that. If that's the case, then Steph Curry would have went deep into the playoffs with the Warriors. As far as the Kings go, I like them. I think they're a good team. I just don't trust what they have. They don't have De'Aaron Fox anymore. Um, Domantas Sabonis is a great all-star. He's a great player, but he's not that guy. He's just not that guy. He's like a poor man's version of Nikola Jokic. That's the way I view him. He's the Walmart version of Nikola Jokic,
Sabonis is the Walmart version. That is
which is
wild.
which is which is not a bad thing if you think about it, because it's better. It's better to be the Walmart version of it than the Temu version. So he should be good. He should be fine. But I just don't like the fact that it's so centered around him, and there's no other pieces to actually help them win. So when they got rid of their pieces, when they got rid of De'Aaron Fox, and they got rid of some of their other role players, I was like, it's only a matter of time they're gonna fall apart. So that's why I didn't pick them. Now, as far as the Clippers go, I picked the Clippers because the Clippers, even though they're older, even though there's like they're the oldest team in the NBA, potentially probably the oldest team in NBA history, I still believe in Kawhi Leonard when healthy. I still believe in uh, I believe in that Bradley Beal can get better. I think he was just in a bad situation. I also feel like they have enough pieces now with CP3 on the team that can potentially get them to where they need to go. Now, if we're talking in a playoff situation, you know how this movie ends, Mike. CP3 gets injured and James Harden disappears, and Kawhi Leonard don't want to play.
But hey, CP3 did play all 82 games last season.
He did, but he didn't play in the playoffs. See, that's the thing. People always got to keep in mind. Him not playing in the playoffs saved his career. Okay? Because if he would have played in the playoffs, a hamstring would have popped, his ankle would have snapped, something would have happened. It's always something in the playoffs. He never just plays in the playoff and comes out of the first round. He doesn't
Right.
play.
I'm not upset or um mad at that take at all. I actually think it's I think it's a pretty good take, honestly. I don't think it's the wrong answer at all. Um, like I borderline agree.
Okay.
I borderline agree, but you know, like the Kings are confused, so they're out, right?
Yeah.
Lakers got to third in the Western Conference, but then got bumped by a team they shouldn't got bumped by.
Right.
I believe that the Warriors are still a threat, like because as long as you got that man Steph Curry who can shoot that ball, they're always
Oh
going to
yeah.
have a chance. But I think in perspective now, when I will go with the same answer, the Clippers, and that's because when I look at them, you know, like Kawhi towards the end of last season, especially showed like I'm still that dude.
Yep.
I can. He stayed healthy, you
Knock on
know,
wood. Yep.
you know, but and then you got Bill. Bill hopefully can revamp himself, right?
Yep.
They've added Brooke Lopez.
Absolutely.
That was another move for them.
Big move. Yep.
Chris Paul is still serviceable, very
Yes, he
serviceable.
is.
The thing is, like you said, Harden. We know what he's gonna do in the regular season. We know
Yeah.
what Kawhi gonna do. We know these dudes gonna ball and be fourth. Like
Yeah.
that's usually where they land, like
Yep.
fourth.
In that fourth
And
spot. Yep.
yeah, so when I look at that and I look at the roster, there's no way you can really just bet against it.
Right.
The Lakers don't have what it takes. Now the Warriors, if they add some pieces, like I think they let Kevon Looney walk, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went
Yes.
somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at if you add another piece, especially someone who can score the ball, and you keep Butler with Steph, Moody's coming into his own, right?
Right.
Moody's coming into his own. He did a lot stepping up last season, but right now in totality, I think I agree overall. But it's just really, all right. I'll put it to you like this: I believe that the Clippers are the best, but I won't count out the Warriors. The only reason the Lakers are third is because they're. But let me stop. Presently constructed, the Lakers I still think are in third, just because of the
Okay.
turmoil that's around the team.
Right.
Now,
Right.
if they are to get rid of that, or they're to make a move that can solidify some more, I
Mm-hmm.
would put the Lakers ahead of the Warriors.
I agree. I definitely agree. Yep.
But to me, it's Clippers, Warriors, Lakers, Kings.
Yeah. And the reason why I put, yeah, I would probably agree with that. I would probably put, and because of the uncertainty, I will put the Lakers fourth because I do feel, even though I did kind of crap on the Kings a little bit, I feel like the combination of, Domantas Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan kind of is better than what the Lakers got because they actually have defense. Like, defense is important, and especially when it comes down to the perimeter defense and also the interior defense. Like, both of those things are super important in the NBA when it comes down to winning. I don't think the Lakers are a bad team. I just think they just need to get rid of the distractions. But as far
Absolutely.
but as far as the actual list, I will put Warriors second, Kings third, and Lakers fourth. That's how I would do it. And you know what? If they can if they can find a way to get rid of LeBron, I would move the Warriors to third and move the Lakers second.
Depending on what they get.
Yeah, depending on what they get. But I also, like I said, it's the distractions, man. I just don't like Luka and LeBron together. Like I really don't. Even though I think they're both great, I think they're great separately.
Right. I think
So that's how I view it.
I think you're right. I think they might do a little more. They might do a little more. They might do a little better apart than they would
Yeah.
together.
Like if it's an all-star situation, like they're on an all-star team together, that's fine because it's only one game. But as far as this like Lakers team, it's too much. It's way too much, man. Because look, LeBron, he's 41. He'll be 41 this season.
Right.
How long are we gonna play this song? I know we've been saying that for like 20 years. But I'm just saying, like, we gotta look at it for what it is. LeBron has been playing incredible basketball, but it's been his team. It was always LeBron's team. It wasn't Luka's team.
Right.
Last year we witnessed it. They went fourth. Third. They went third in the NBA, but they got dragged there. They weren't winning comfortable games. So I don't know. I still think that the Warriors are better than the Lakers when it comes down to that.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about something that's fucking criminal.
Oh man.
Why haven't the Commanders signed Terry McLaurin to a new deal?
Okay. I'm gonna let you go first because I gotta talk. Oh yeah, because that's my guy. I always pick him in fantasy. By the way, go ahead.
Just a little spoiler. He is in my top 10 list when we get to that segment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, I got a lot to unpack here. So I'm trying to pick my words so I'm not talking too long. But this is
It's all good.
This is criminal activity. This is legendary nasty work.
Yeah.
This guy has had 1,000-yard seasons, I believe, every year he's been on the team, no matter who's throwing him the fucking ball.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Heineke. Oh God. Jeez, I don't even know who else. Obviously, he's got Jaden Daniels currently. Who else was? He was there when Kirk Cousins was there, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, he had Captain Kirk. Shout out to Kirk Cousins. Still,
yes,
we love you, Kirk. No
yes,
matter what happens,
we love you.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't even think of who else. But
I think those were the three quarterbacks: Heineke, Daniels, and Cousins, I believe.
Yeah. So now, 1,000-yard seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter who's throwing you the ball. The organization went out, got Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Organization's been trying to do right and get him the what you call it, the oh my God, get him a team around him in order to compete.
Right.
They understand that already, that after one season and 3 more seasons, they're going to have to pay this man. And they're going to have to pay him a lot of money because he's only going to build off of what he started last season. So now for you to sit up here and say we want to do the right thing and not pay a guy who's given you everything, and I'm pulling up his stats because I'm pissed off about this. Oh, nope, not that. So, Scary Terry McLaurin. Stats. There we go. So, he has had 1,000 yards the last 5 seasons. Hold on, let me go into ESPN and pull it. See if I can pull up the whole thing. So he's been in the league 6 years.
Right.
Outside of the first year, he's had 1,000 yards every season.
Yes.
First year, he had 919, 7 touchdowns. 2020, 1118, 4 touchdowns. 2021, 1053, 5. 2022, 1191, 5. 2023, 1,002, 4. Last season, 1,096, 13 touchdowns. So for you to sit up here, what reason is there for this? And then on top of that, showing you his character. Because most players, when this happens, they don't report without a deal.
Yeah.
They don't even show up. So not only is he showing you that on the field that he's good, or for not one of the best receivers in the league, y'all haven't even done right by him, and he's still doing right by you.
Yeah.
The guy wants to win. The guy wants to compete, and it's just like, I'm like, did we take are we taking a Dallas Cowboys approach? In what world does this make your team better if he walks, or if he, if it doesn't go the way you want it to go?
Right.
Just as well as I do, bro, that Deebo Samuel, although he's phenomenal, he's not a reliable option health-wise.
Absolutely not.
I like Deebo Samuel, but I think part of it was his usage on running and passing. But he's even had some freak accidents, just suddenly hurt. So, like, for them to say we're not going, or for them to right now choose not to give him his money, not to sign him to a deal, not to make sure that their second year quarterback has their main guy, is utterly disgusting, and the Washington Commanders should be ashamed of themselves, because give the man his money. He's earned his money. He's earned his money. The fact that he don't have it is fucking criminal. And whoever makes these decisions, if he walks and your team slumps this season, that GM should be fired.
I agree. And you know what, just to add on to that, because I listen to a lot of stuff when it comes down to like news and updates on free agency and stuff like that. See, one thing about it, it's all about money and marketing in the NFL.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Just one more thing before I let you go, that I wanted to add that I forgot is the other thing is, like, not for nothing, we seen them go toe to toe with the Eagles. The Eagles were able to rip that game open. Now they've made some changes. They lost some pieces, but the Eagles are still going to be the team to beat. How are you supposed to compete with them without him? So go ahead. Marketing.
No, you're 1,000% right. And see, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up, because, when it comes down to ranking, right?
Right.
Scary Terry is not ranked even top 10, even though the numbers say he's top 10. When it comes down to actual top 10 wide receiver, he's not. Who's rated over him and like not even close? Scary Terry is rated at number 16, and guess who's number 3?
CeeDee Lamb.
I wish I would. That's actually more understandable for CeeDee Lamb. The going into his third season, Puka Nacua. Okay,
I believe he is a top 10 receiver, but not that high. Like,
I don't even, to be quite honest, I don't even think he's a top 10 receiver. Puka Nacua to me is the type of athlete who I believe still got a lot to prove. And I'm not saying that he can't be top 10 next season. I'm saying as of right this second, he's not top 10 in my book. But everyone has him as top 10. And I don't think it's fair, because they're looking at the highlights. They're looking at the incredible catches. They're looking at how many yards he catch. This man only had played 11 games last season and only scored only had 3 touchdowns. Guess how much Scary Terry had last season?
Oh yeah, he had 13 touchdowns.
Exactly. Let me give you exact number. Hold on 1 second. Last season, yes, 13 touchdowns, okay? On 1,000 plus yards, 82 receptions. See, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Night in and night out, he's putting up numbers. Either he's giving you 100 plus yards or he's giving you 100 plus yards with a touchdown during the regular
Mm-hmm.
season. And see, a lot of people want to complain and say, well, that's not fair because he had Jaden Daniels going off that season. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Matt Stafford went off last season too. And guess what? He only gave Puka Nakua 3 touchdowns. And it wasn't like, he had other options out there he was throwing to all the time. Like he wasn't throwing to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp barely played. But my
Absolutely.
point is the NFL spin narratives, they spin stories, and that's what gets people paid. That's my whole point of bringing Puka Nakua up. I'm not trying to put slight on him. I'm just trying to show you there's really no comparison. This
Right.
man is consistent. This man been putting up 1,000 plus yards since 2019. I mean, 2020.
Mm.
So that is 5 consecutive years of putting up incredible numbers. Now, 2023, yes, he had a pretty bad year. He had 4 touchdowns, but guess what? Once he got a real quarterback to throw to him, he got the touchdowns up. So my point is, they're not paying him because they're looking at it as being, well, right now he's a little bit older, right? How old is he? 29. Okay. So he's at the twilight of his career. And the guarantee money that he's looking for, he's not going to get.
Meaning McLaurin, you're saying?
Yeah, McLaurin, yes. Scary Terry. Because remember, they start falling off after 20, 28, 29. Wide
Right. Yeah.
receivers.
Wide receivers get a little more leeway than running backs. A few more years.
Yeah. So they're looking at it as being, why would I give top dollar to a 29-year-old wide receiver like Scary Terry?
But the only thing that I would say, bro, is he's been healthy. Like
For the
he
most
has.
part, yes.
I mean, like we got. I'm gonna just bring his stats back up. You know, let's see. Games played. Games played. Hold on. Where'd it go? I don't know how I did it before. Oh, there it is. Games played. He played all 17. He played all 17 games the last 4 seasons. He
Yeah,
played 15 and then he played 14. So he's always availability's never been a problem.
I
So,
agree. And
so
and I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying as far as what the NFL like to push.
right. The agenda.
Yes. They strictly focus on stories and they strictly focus on young stars. They don't focus on the vets that can put up numbers. Scary Terry been putting up numbers for a long time, man. He's been putting it up for a pretty good amount of time,
6 years.
6 years straight, and we can't sit here and pretend that he's not doing that. So, like I said, you got somebody in their 20s, or early 20s, someone like Puka Nakua, I believe he's 23, going to 24, played 2 seasons, got 9 touchdowns. 9. But they'll give him, what is it, 100 million almost 4 years.
And not to mention, he's still got. I mean, he's a little washed now. He's not the same player, Cooper Kupp, but he's still Cooper Kupp is still a distraction. Scary Terry has been doing this alone, like with
Right.
no secondary
He's
option.
the number one wide receiver on their team.
It's like, it's kind of like I remember, like, and I always use this argument is when, I remember when Antonio Brown left the Steelers
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, you got Juju." I'm like, y'all gotta understand. Smith-Schuster was able to do what he was able to do because of Antonio Brown.
Of course.
Antonio Brown would have, like, if you really looked at some of those coverages, you notice there's three guys on this side where Brown is, and there's one on the top to
Right.
to try and sandwich him. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
everyone else is one on one, and there were times it didn't matter. They were still throwing the ball to Brown. They was still catching the ball. I'm like, damn, like, but Smith-Schuster was able to do a lot because he was able to get away. He was able to get those one-on-ones. He's able to get those things that Brown wasn't able to get.
Right.
And even still, Brown was going to get what he was going to get.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's like when you play with such a elite talent and you have an elite wide receiver that's playing at a level that no one else is playing, yeah, that means that second option, which is you're going to get a lot of touches and you're going to put up career numbers because the quarterback's not going to throw the triple coverage. The quarterback's not going to risk getting a turnover just because they want to prove a point. No, he's going to give the ball to the open man. And if there's a one-on-one and you beat that one-on-one and you catch, you're good.
Absolutely.
So I get it. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking Puka Nacua. I think he's great. I think he's definitely I would say probably top 15. I don't give him top 10. I give him top 15 in the league. And that's really good. That's really good. But I don't believe that the contract should be even discussed if you have someone like Scary Terry that's asking for some money. Because he's already proven himself for 6 seasons in a row. What more do you need?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, they need to figure it out. That's for sure. Now, actually, damn, I'll wait for R&B before I bring that up because, yeah, that's good. This topic will cut a little deeper than sports. So
Okay.
I want to go. It's about Hulk Hogan.
Oh, okay. That's all good.
So, the WNBA players. Did you see what they came out wearing during All-Star Weekend?
Absolutely, I did.
So, if you don't mind, I want to take this one first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, a lot of women, that I know, and just people, have said that, that the WNBA women deserve more. Or they deserve to get what the men are getting.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they don't deserve more money, okay? But let's look at this from a financial standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
If women's basketball wants to be equivalent, they need to play an equivalent. So, the NBA has 482 games. As it is presently constructed, the WNBA, I believe, is 42. And I read that they're adding 5 games on either next season or the season after.
Right.
So the men start in September and it ends in June.
Mm-hmm.
Or they start in October and it ends in June. One or the other.
Yeah.
The women start in May and are usually done in August, September.
Yep.
So that's that. The men have 30 teams. All the women are adding teams. I think they're going to be up to 16 in the coming 4 years. They don't have as many teams. Now, there's that. Now, let's just call it what it is. There aren't as many stars in the WNBA as the NBA. They don't
Correct.
have the star power to cultivate and pull in that audience.
Mm-hmm.
And, so there's that. Now, there's just not as now I understand in the past 2 years, women's basketball, the ratings have gone up and improved. And there was an edge the year before last. But whether people like it or not, because I've heard different things, Caitlin Clark has helped change the league. Whether they
Right.
want to admit it, whether they like it or
Mm-hmm.
not, you know, she's helped. So, in order for them to get to where they want to be, they have got to give a little more. They have got to give it more time. You sitting there saying we deserve all this money, the revenue has to match. You
Right.
have to bring in the money to receive the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm like I said, there's been an uptick, and I give them the utmost respect. But in order for you to get the money, you have to bring in more money.
Right.
So until you bring in more money, you shouldn't get more money. And it's going to take time. People are just starting to jump on to the WNBA. I mean, look at the growth in these 2 years. You're adding on games to the season. You're adding expansion teams. People are starting to watch more, but I know but now there's also only going to be a limit because they have to be off during men's basketball. Because let's be honest, if men's basketball is on, no one's going to watch the WNBA.
Exactly.
So, now you have to find a way to crunch it in less time. I don't see it. I'm not saying they don't deserve more money, but I've seen some reports of some of them saying we deserve what the men get.
All right. And Mike, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more
It's just
because
simple math. Like,
yeah, no, but see, you know what? People get emotional with this stuff and they're not looking at it as simple math. They're looking at it as more or less being sexist, what we're saying,
right.
right? If you take away the male versus female aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
And we just say, okay, compare these two businesses and look at the numbers, right? The NBA gets paid 50%. The NBA players get paid 49 to 51% of the revenue share, all the shares, right? So if it's basketball related, that's including media deals, that's including merchandise, that's including, you know, attendance at the actual game.
Right.
The NBA players are getting 50% of that, right?
Absolutely.
The WNBA players are now currently getting 9% of whatever the WNBA brings in with the same type of things. Like I said, attendance, media deals, so on and so forth, right? But let's keep it a stat. Women do not watch basketball, women's basketball. Women do not support WNBA. All those women that are online that are acting like they've been 100% with the WNBA since the inception of it, I challenge you to name the top 5 players. Matter of fact, I'll even make it even more easier. Name the Hall of Famer on each and every single team that's currently in the WNBA. If you can name, your WNBA player for each team, like let's say the New York Liberty, and you put up there Rebecca Lobo. Name a star, name a superstar that's with that squad or have been with that squad that's an actual star. Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker. Name, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
But they can't do that. You know why? Because they're not actually watching the game. They're not consuming the game. You know who consumes the game? That's 75% of the audience or 85% of the audience, according to the metrics, men. So that is crazy work to say, oh, we don't support you guys. We're not paying you what you owe us. And yet we're the ones that's actually going to the freaking games. I can't even name how many WNBA games I've been to. I'm a Liberty fan.
Absolutely.
I'm a Liberty fan, and I've been a fan since the 90s.
And you've been going to those games for a while.
That's what I'm saying. I've been going since the 90s. So I say that because the 9% is not what they want to get paid, but they have to get paid. You know why? Because they owe the NBA over $50 million a year. It's a charity league, for God's sake. And until we can figure out how to be in profit, they're not going to get all of the 50% that they get in the NBA. You know why? Because you got to recoup some of that money back. You got to recoup some of that money back. And people like, oh, well, you know, there's a lot of businesses that lose millions of dollars and still can pay their employees millions. Yeah, and you know what happens? They get tax write-offs. See, you're not factoring that in. This is not a non-for-profit. This is a profit for profit. So I know I went on a rant, but I'm just upset because I'm a sports fan. I like watching sports. I hate when things get political, Mike. I really, really, really do. Now they're talking about, oh, it might be a lockout next season. Good. I hope it is. You know why? Because you're going to lose all those fans. And guess what? Low key, you might just lose Caitlin Clark another season. You know why? Because if you ask me, this injury isn't what they're saying it is. It's either one or two things, Mike. Either she's sitting out for political reasons, right? As far as the media goes, media deals, or she is so hurt because of the exercise regimens that she's been doing, putting all that muscle mass on and stuff during the off season because she's been getting beat up her rookie season, and she's probably hurt because her body's not used to being like that, to the point where she might have to miss a third season or a second season in a row, including the lockout. So that'll be 3 seasons.
Oh boy.
So do they really want to do a lockout? Because they might lose their fans.
All the work they're putting in would go.
In 2 years. In 2 years, like that. You will lose all the momentum you had with Caitlin Clark. Imagine them doing a lockout season with Jordan. In his prime, in his rookie year.
Not happening.
Or his second year, or third year. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. And like you said, Mike, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this. You got to build stars up. Sabrina Ionescu, I'm a Liberty fan, guys, scoring 18 points a night. Won the 3-point championship contest, right? 2 times. 2. She won 2 NBA. She won 2 WNBA 3-point contests and went head-to-head with Steph Curry and almost won that.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not promoting her as Caitlin Clark?
Absolutely.
See, that's the problem. See, the NBA, when they was in their golden era in the 80s and 90s, you know what they did? They propped up Magic. They propped up Bird. Then when that generation kind of died out, they said, oh, we're going to prop up Jordan. We're going to prop up Hakeem Olajuwon. We're going to prop up Patrick Ewing. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And they just don't.
They don't know how to build stars. They're terrible at storytelling.
They're not good at marketing.
They're horrible at marketing. Sabrina Ionescu, 3-time WNBA 3-point champion. WNBA champion, right? She won a championship last season. She has her own sneaker. What's going on, RB?
What's good, fellas? What's good? What's good?
Oh, damn, I can't hear him. I got to jump out.
Yeah.
This shit is trash.
I'm going to jump out, go jump back in. But last thing I'm going to say, the WNBA should be ashamed of themselves because they have not made money since their inception, and now they're asking for more money. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
we was talking about the WNBA players saying that they wanted more money, and I took the stance of financially, they don't bring in what the men bring in, right? So they can't
They
pay
don't.
you. They can't pay you what you want because you don't bring in what needs to be brought in to pay you.
The WNBA is in debt.
That's the stance Raj took, was that they're funded, and I usually say this, but they're funded by the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, they're funded by the NBA. So without the NBA, there is no WNBA. That is for sure. That is for sure. So
Maybe maybe if Angel Reese didn't have to rebound the ball 5 times before she can make one layup, offensive rebound 5 times before she can make one layup, people would be more drawn to watch. Just a theory, just a thought. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't. I think that's something. Maybe to people it is boring, but the other thing is like they don't
There
understand.
you go.
They don't understand. That it takes money to make them to give you the money, and they're bad at marketing and creating stars.
Hmm.
That's the other thing. Like, whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark has really taken the league by storm and has made it popular. She's had a helping hand in it, I'll say. I'd say she made it popular, but
Yeah.
she's definitely had a helping hand in growing the sport. I was saying, they're adding on games within the next couple seasons.
Right.
They're adding on like 5 games. There's 4 expansion teams coming. So the league is growing, right? But even though it's growing, it's not to the point where they can get all this money they're looking for. You have to give it time. It's only seen increases the last 2 seasons. It's going to take 5 years to even have those increases sustained, if that makes sense. At least it's going to take longer, but you're looking at least 5 years of you have to keep it consistent and keep making it better before you can get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You're not going to get as much as the men.
Yeah. Well,
So,
again, I think they need to figure out better ways of can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was saying I think that they need to find better ways of figuring out how to scale an entertainment value that will bring eyes to the product. Now, Shaq was on Angel Reese's podcast. I think it was maybe close around like springtime, something like that. When he was on her podcast and they were having a conversation. And I don't know if Shaq was serious or not. I think he was serious, but he said it in a joking way. But he had mentioned on Angel Reese's podcast that if they, got a little bit more sexy with, how they dress, it might bring eyes to the television screen. I hate to say it, but if he was serious or if he was joking, he was still right either way.
Yep.
Because hey, I'm a big wrestling fan, and we Mike, Roger, you guys like wrestling too. You know how the women in wrestling have always been promoted as the divas back in the day, and now that they're more female wrestlers now versus divas, they still require them to dress a certain way in order to keep the eyes on the product. We it's been notable stories of women who have left WWE because they were complained about Vince wanting them to dress a certain type of way when he was still in charge. He wanted them to dress sexy, and a lot of them still do it. They walk around with them cheeks out every week, every Monday, every Friday, and every pay-per-view, those cheeks hanging, and we watching. So,
But you
just
ain't lying.
being honest.
You ain't lying at all.
And you know what? And kind of piggybacking off of what R&B just said, because I think that's a very significant thing. And like I was saying before, 85% of the audience is men, right? That support the WNBA. I know I've been to probably, I'll be honest with you, probably 100 WNBA games, since the 90s. But what's crazy is this, and this had nothing to do with politics or anything like that, or a person's sexual orient, but they did this stream on the All-Star game called the Stud Butts, right? I don't know if you guys heard about it or seen it. Okay, when you get an opportunity, look it up because it went viral. It's two WNBA
I don't know
players.
if I want to see it, Raj, just off of what you just said the name of it was.
See, but that's my point. That's my point. It's just their stream. But just the name alone makes a man and a heterosexual man be like, I don't know if I want to see it.
Fuck, I want to watch this for. Right.
Exactly.
Fuck, I want to watch this for.
And I think that's one of their biggest problems. They push the sexual agenda down our throat so much. I mean, it's to the point where it's like, it's disgusting. I mean, I'm there, like I told you, Mike, I like to just watch sports. I try to escape and watch sports to get away from all that stuff. But if you're pushing an agenda like this, that can lead to potential a lot of businesses and a lot of people's interests out the way. Like they might not want to watch that. So I just want to throw that out there because even though they're demanding more money, there's a lot of things they need to clean up before they go out there and demand any type of more money because a lot of stuff is not promoted well to kids and people who are not interested in knowing what you like in a bedroom.
You know what though, Raj?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And not only are you right, when you think about it, for them to try to push an agenda like that in that way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this without sounding like an asshole. But just being real, like you're not gonna think about this. I'm segueing to something here.
Okay.
I think all three of us could sit here and agree that the Alphabet Gang and their protesting and crying and bitching and whatever they do has gotten a lot farther and gotten them a lot farther and a lot more bills passed and so on and so forth than it has ever gotten black people, as a whole. And I'll just say black people, heterosexual black people, whatever, black people, right?
Right.
If they're not even jumping behind it, and they jump behind anything that got to do with alphabets.
Right.
If they not even jumping behind it, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Exactly.
If they're not even jumping behind it and supporting it, they don't give a fuck about the sports. They only give a fuck about, and that's all I'm saying at the end of the day. If what you're pushing is not even enough to make them give it a fuck to get behind it and support it, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. And that's my point. We can't sit here in front and act like the support is always there. It's not always there. And to be quite honest, like I was telling Mike earlier, R&B, I said, yo, we're the one at the games. When have you ever heard women say, yo, it's a girls' night, we're going to a WNBA game? I've never heard that.
Nope.
I've never heard it either.
I've never heard that.
Women say it's a girls' night and we going to a NBA game.
That's what I'm saying. I kid you not. I went the last NBA game I went to was with the Washington Wizards, and I went to we were sitting kind of like next to the VIP area they got. Like it's like one of these areas where they got like couches and stuff. And they made it. There was a girls' night. They had all these women sitting there. Now, of course, we know why, because trying to get scooped up by some some NBA players. But my point is, they'll do girls' night for an NBA game. They don't do girls' night for a WNBA game, but then they get online and make like they're the biggest supporters. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. So I don't know, man. I hope that the NBA can address this very soon, because if they go into a lockout, I'm telling you, they're wasting time. They're wasting time. And I feel bad for players that are good, like Nafisa Collier, Agent Wilson, that are getting no recognition, and they got MVPs and they got championships behind them. But yet we only talk about Caitlin Clark. That's crazy.
If they go into a lockout, that might fold the league. And not only will it might
Yep,
fold the league, you're gonna have a lot of those women probably will start running overseas to play basketball and make more money doing it.
exactly. Exactly.
That's why Brittany Griner was going overseas, off season the hoop to make money.
Yep.
Now she ain't trying to go over there again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hear you guys. That's what it's about. They might just say, you know what, time to fold it up. Let's focus on building overseas, where they pay us
I don't think
3
they
times
going
more.
only if they go on the strike. I'm saying that though. I don't think that they're gonna try to let it go that far. And the
Mhm.
reason why I say that, Rod and Mike, is because of the fact that they right now feel like they have their golden goose and the white girl savior and Caitlin Clark. And
Right.
they're gonna try to push that narrative as hard as they can. If that folds, then yeah, it might be time.
Yep.
And
Because
like
they
you,
nothing more to be able to say that the white girl saved the league. Let's just be honest.
Lord.
uh,
So I want to make sure I get this in because this could take a chunk of time. Last or 2 weeks ago, 2 lists came out that really aggravated my soul.
Damn, I
One
just
was
put it out. You gonna make me relight it, huh, Mike?
we was waiting for you to do this.
I
The
appreciate
first,
y'all patience.
no, it's all good. You got to work, man. Work is what takes care of the bills and the kids, man. So
Yeah.
we doing what we do. We try to keep the topics light. Like I saved the Lions topic for you, as well. But I definitely want to get into these lists because I know that that's going to take up a chunk of what's left. But there's 2 lists that came out. Both of them kind of aggravated my soul personally. Um, there was a top. They did a top whatever list, ESPN of the top 100 players, and then they had a list for the wide receivers, the top 10. I feel like because of the disrespect that the NBA list had, that's going to take a little longer. So I'm going to start with the top 10 wide receiver list. I believe the list was bad, um, more wrong than anything else. Um, when you look at the top, when I look at the top receivers, from my point of view, I believe that they're kind of going off of a name value more than what I see on the field, more than what they see on the field. I try to at least keep my list to where what I'm seeing on the field gives them the right to be in that top 10, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so how do you guys want to do the reading of our list? One at a time, like we all read our list from 1 to 10, 10 to 1. We each give 10, 10, 10, or how you want to do it.
you got the list?
I have my
Top
list
10?
right in front of me of who of my order.
Okay. You can
So
go first.
you want me to read them all?
Yeah.
All right. For me, I got at 10, it's a tie. I couldn't break it between these 2 guys. I believe with lack of quarterback play, both of these guys have played well. Um, One is a rookie, but hey, when you play for the Giants and you can do what Malik Neighbors did, I mean, what can you say? I just him and Garrett Wilson, I have sharing the 10 spot. Number 9, I have Nico Collins. Number 8, I have Scary Terry. Number 7, I have Mike Evans. 6, I have Tyreek Hill. And it was really hard to do 4, 5, and 6. I mean, you could really order them however you want it. 5, I have CD Lamb. 4 is Amon St. Brown. 3 is AJ Brown. 2, I have Justin Jefferson. And 1, y'all already know who it is, Jamar Chase.
Okay.
What do you have, Raj?
Well, I got to start off with the number 10. I got to go with CD Lamb because he plays on he got a crappy quarterback. So we got to start off with that. Next, I got to go Mike Evans as number 9. Number 8, I got to go with Tyreek Hill because, he's amazing. Number 7, I got to go Drake London because I think he's definitely going to show that he's going to be one of the best wide receivers in the game once he gets used to playing with Penix. And, this year is going to be a breakout year just like it was last season. He did great. Got to go with Nico Collins, even though I'm not 100% sure if he's going to stay healthy, but he's definitely got the number 6 spot. Number 5, I got, Scary Terry. Number 4, I got Malik Neighbors. Number 3, I got to roll with Justin Jefferson. Number 2, I got Jamar Chase. And number 1, I I actually messed up. Number 3 is Smith, and then number 1 is Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase. Excuse me.
3, Smith. You talking Smith from the Eagles, Devonta Smith?
Yeah, Devontae Smith.
And then 2, you said 2 was Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, and number 1, Jamar Chase.
What you got, R&B, for yours?
Give me 1 second, because I'm looking something up real quick.
Now, Mike, real quick, while R&B is doing that,
Yo, CD Lamb is nasty work, though.
Do you still feel Puka Nakua's top 3? Like that conversation we had?
Top 3?
Yeah.
In the league?
Yep.
Top 3, no.
So that solidifies my point even more. They need to reevaluate how they're treating Scary Terry.
I mean, Nakua's like 11, 12, I would say.
That's what I was saying. He's top 15. He's top 15. I don't got him as top 10. I just can't. For him to be in the league only 2 seasons and for him to only put up 9 touchdowns in those 2, I can't put him as top 10, bro. He haven't proved anything to me yet. This might, what's funny? Because I'm gonna look up Drake London's stats real quick. I had Drake London as number 7, right? But Drake London, 2 years in the league, guess what he did last season? He put up 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, and yeah. See, I put him. I was like really torn between him and like Nico Collins.
Well,
maybe, and it could have been oversight on my part. Because sometimes it's real hard to evaluate. When you can't watch every team or you can't catch every stat. But I do believe Drake London has that potential to do
Yeah.
that.
And the reason why I put him as my top 10 is because I had him on my fantasy team and I remember how great he did. He was putting up numbers, bro. He was definitely the number 2 or number 3 in the whole entire league last season. He had 9 touchdowns last season, 1,200 yards, average 12.7 yards per carry. See, one of the biggest, and he had 100 receptions. One of the biggest things that people got to keep in mind, if they're not playing in one of those superstar market teams, like, of course, the Eagles, the Cowboys, your 49ers, stuff like that, a lot of that get overlooked
Absolutely.
because there's no star in that team outside of the quarterback. I mean, we had Kirk Cousins. They had Kirk Cousins, but they didn't have a superstar quarterback that was throwing to Drake. So that's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of wide receivers that get overlooked. But I
So
do like.
what I was. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say real quick. I do like the fact that they do get overlooked though, because that just goes to show you that the narratives can be spins. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what I was trying to find was the initial list, that the top 10 list that had came out by ESPN last week. I was trying to find that list. I thought I had screenshot it, but
I thought I
I
did
guess I
too.
didn't. Because I remember watching, I was literally watching when it came out live, and I remember I picked my phone up. I was like, damn, let me get a picture of this, because I was very pissed off about it in a way, and I guess I did not take the picture. So that's how I was sitting up here trying to find that list, because the the list itself, I need to find it. The list itself was not, in my opinion, a horrible list. I believe everybody that was on that top 10 list that ESPN released last week was deserving to be there. It was just the places that some of them were in that I felt was a bit disrespectful.
Mm.
All right. That's not a bad take.
Jamar Chase definitely should be at number one. That he's a freak of nature. He a beast, man. He definitely deserves to be at number one, in my opinion. Justin Jefferson, with heart of hearts, I would say that Justin Jefferson is really one A minus, if that makes sense. And Jamar Chase is one A, but I gotta, give in order, so
Oh,
Justin
hold on.
Jefferson will
Hold
fall
on.
in that too.
Hold on. I found it. I found the list.
You found it?
I did take a picture. One is
Send
Chase.
send it to the group real quick. Either the text or IG, it don't matter. I just want to be able to visually look at it.
Hold on. The group with the text is a little easier.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. All types of shit kept popping up. It was giving me the top 100 from 2020.
Yeah.
I'm like, Lord have mercy. I said 25. Like, this shit was just last week. Come on, Google, get it together.
Get it right. So yeah, we had Chase at 1, Jefferson at 2, Hill at 3, Lamb at 4, Brown at 5. Well, AJ Brown at 5, St. Brown at 6, Neighbors at 7, Collins at 8, Evans at 9, Wilson at 10. Okay, no, it wasn't that bad. I was mad about that NBA list though. We're gonna get into that, but
For sure.
wait,
So I'll be real quick.
no, you good.
What I felt was disrespectful was to have AJ Brown fifth on this list, coming off of a Super Bowl championship, behind CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill, who neither one of these teams even sniffed the fucking playoffs.
I agree. Yeah.
That's disrespectful, number
That's
one.
what moved him up to third on my list.
I would move AJ Brown up to third on my list, coming off of a Super Bowl championship. Even though he's coming off of a Super Bowl championship, bruh, You ain't Jamar Chase, bruh. You ain't Justin Jefferson, but you
Right.
are AJ Brown.
Right.
And I got to give him his credit. And coming off that championship, I feel like he deserved to be third. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There may be a little bit of home bias. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown should be number 4 on this list. This dude,
That's what
and
I have.
it may be because I get to watch him, you know what I'm saying, every Sunday or whatever, or Monday whenever they playing. This dude is amazing. He's electrifying. Like, he just can do it all. He's underneath. He can get it over the top. He can rack it up. You know what I'm saying? He's a astute route runner. You know what I'm saying? Like, very excellent route runner. I definitely think Amon-Ra, and going to the NFC. Well, should have went to the NFC Championship last year, but the number 1 team in the NFC and breaking records and stuff like that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I would have put at 4. Then I think after Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is where it gets tricky. After I put him at 4, I think I'm going. I probably will go Tyreek Hill at 5 just off of sheer talent, just off of who he is. Even though they didn't make the playoffs last year, and he went through the whole little, emotions and all that, wanting to lead the team, whatever the case may be. I'll probably go ahead and put him in there at 5. At 6, I'm gonna go with Terry McLaurin, who went to the NFC Championship last year, and it has been nothing but the model of consistency for 10 years straight for Washington. Seemed like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude be balling. So I'm gonna go ahead and round him in there at 6, and then I think CeeDee Lamb 7. I'm gonna go Neighbors 8. I'm gonna go Mike Evans number 9. And I'm going to round it off with Collins at 10. I think I'm going to have to leave Garrett Wilson out, who didn't make the playoffs last year and did not play up to expectation whatsoever with the with everything going on with the Jets last year. Garrett Wilson kind of, you know what I'm saying, let us down a little bit with a little bit of his play as well. He did not take the leap that we all thought he was going to take, coming off of Offensive Rookie of the Year. So yeah, I think that's how I would have it, man. Like, just being honest. I'm sorry for being a little long with it, but
Good.
that's how I would place it.
Not a
I'm
bad.
leaving off Garrett Wilson. Yep. I'm throwing Evans in there.
I'm not even mad at it. No, I don't. I just think that people. There's a lot of measures when it comes to wide receiver too. So it's real hard
Yeah,
to really lock in, because you got to look. You took the whole totality. I think Raj took more of a team approach, kind of like where they are on their teams. I kind of just took the approach of what I felt based on what I seen them do. And like I said, Drake London could have been oversight because I really wasn't able to watch the Falcons like that. So obviously these lists are always subject to change. The top 10 is going to be all different. It could be different by week 5.
yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So I
It
definitely think
definitely could, for sure.
you don't even know who can creep in. Nakua can have a breakout year. Cup can revitalize himself. Diggs might revitalize himself. Like, you never know who
Yeah,
can
definitely.
do what.
Yeah, for sure.
So for next week, let's do a top 10 running back just for for the show, for a segment. And the week after that,
That's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's a little harder. Week after that, we
So
can do
many talented
quarterback.
running backs.
But now, the NBA list. This list was criminal. This was definitely criminal. This was so legendary, nasty work. I don't even. I thought I saved that one too. I was looking for it, but I think I was so mad I didn't even save it. Was that ESPN's list, the original list? Whose list was that? You guys remember?
Bleacher Report.
It was Bleacher Report's list.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see if I can find it. Port top NBA list. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Think this is really? I hate when it does that. Starts at 100. Now I go all the way to the bottom. And Jordan 1. No, let's just go to 11. That's how we'll know if it's the right list. Like, call a spade here. Okay, yes, this is the right list. So, Bleacher Report released this list of their top 100 players. And, like, obviously, we ain't going to go through 100 players. But, Kobe Bryant, number 11, is the worst thing. Like, how? I just can't get that through my mind. Like, you got Steph Curry at 10. Wilt Chamberlain at 9. Larry Bird at 8. Tim Duncan at 7. Shaq at 6. Russell at 5. Magic at 4. Kareem at 3. LeBron at 2. And Jordan at 1. And it's just like, I don't understand. I feel like people punish Kobe for playing with Shaq. I feel like because of those rings with Shaq, people almost try to act like they don't count. Like he had nothing to do with
Mike.
It definitely is.
It's deeper than that. To be honest, it really had nothing to do with Shaq. I think that's just the blanket that the media allows everyone to throw over it because it does so good at covering up what the real problem was, what the real issue was. Because think about it.
Please enlighten me because I'm lost.
Think about it. Magic Johnson himself has recognized Kobe Bryant as the greatest Laker of all time. I think it's undebatable that a lot of LA would recognize Kobe Bryant as the greatest Laker of all time. Yet him and Magic Johnson have the same amount of rings, 5 championships, and Magic Johnson won all 5 of his championships with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All 5. Only 3 came with Shaq. There's 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. Magic Johnson don't get punished.
Exactly.
So you're saying, I just want to clarify because I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure I'm understanding. So you're saying that they're punished, like that he didn't win enough rings with Shaq? Is that the narrative they're trying to push?
No. What I'm saying is that if it was truly the fact that he won those championships with Shaq, that they were, frowned upon about or punishing him about, then why do we not look at Magic Johnson the same way? And when I say we, I'm saying generally, you know what I'm saying? Why do we not look at Magic Johnson in the same light? Because he played with
legends,
what you would consider a fucking Shaq of that day. Over 7 foot center that could not be stopped. He wasn't as dominant physically as Shaq, but dominant as far as like putting the ball in the hole and doing what needed to be done. Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was that man. So you know what I'm saying? He was the best fucking player in the league.
Right. And not to mention, he had the most unstoppable shot ever. You knew what he was going to do, when he was going to do it, and how he was going to do it. And no matter what you did, you could not stop it. Like you could not stop the sky hook. It just wasn't happening.
Was not happening. So all I'm saying is when you think about it like that, it got to be deeper because it got to be deeper. Because if Magic himself and LA themselves has crowned this as your greatest Laker of all time, and their careers are kind of parallel with one another with the 5 championships and playing with a big man, why do we not hear the same criticism when it comes to Magic Johnson being in these top 10s and stuff like that, or the top 100s? He's always in the top 10 area or top 5 area. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this to slight Magic. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Laker guy. All I'm doing is being unbiased to say it got to be deeper. The fact that we don't throw them same stones at Magic that we throw at Kobe.
Yeah. Yep. I second that. And the reason I second that is because it's almost like a smear campaign that they're going on with Kobe because he's not here to defend himself. When he was alive, they didn't have the same type of this same type of response for him like this. Players didn't talk bad about him. You know, he was respected in media more. Not saying he was respected totally, but a little bit more than he is now. And the narrative was always, well, Kobe's not a guy that's a good teammate, right? But he won 3 with Shaq, won 2 with Pau Gasol, and it's like, yo, he got 5 rings. Put some respect on his name. I don't care how you look at it. The man went out there and won championships with Shaq and without Shaq. There's a lot of guys that do a lot of coattail riding just to win a championship. They'll put somebody like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there, right? And I think Kareem's great. But let's be honest, he played with Hall of Famers too.
Yeah.
Did he not play with the Big O?
Yeah.
Did he not play with Magic Johnson? So my point is, how are you going to put people ahead of Kobe and they don't even have as many rings as Kobe? This is getting out of hand. Like, either we're talking about winning or we're not. And I'm just tired of the media. Every chance they get, they take a dig at Kobe. Every chance they get. You got podcasters out here talking reckless. Oh, if I was with Shaq, I would have won 2. No, you wouldn't have won anything because you played with a Hall of Famer as well. You just didn't do as good as you thought you would. So I don't know, man. It just these type of lists, I feel like they're made so they can spin history. Like when people talk about history of the NBA, they can kind of like take certain pieces out. That's why I feel these lists are created. So that's just my take on it.
I feel you. Like you said, you got all these podcasters like Gilbert Arenas, ignorant ass, who sit up and they run and feed, they run right into these narratives and shit.
Exactly.
And then when they get schooled, like it was a clip I shared. I think I shared it to you guys, where a guy was debating them on live, and he was like, dude, he averaged 35 and made all first defense after Shaq left, and he like, no, he didn't, or whatever, no, he didn't. And he like fact checked me. So Gilbert Arenas had to fact check it, found out he was wrong, and then what happened? But then you have to go into who did he guard? Like,
it's just getting ridiculous.
Well,
it's comical, man.
The narrative likes a lot of people like to change the narrative. Now, when I look at being someone who watched all of Kobe's wins, right? Like, I was watching basketball in the late 90s when I started watching. So I remember that Lakers run, you know?
Yeah.
There's always when him and Shaq. So, okay, let's just go back a little bit. They won the 3 rings, right? They won the 3 rings,
Yep.
and then they didn't go to the finals in 2003, right? Because the Spurs went. They went to the finals in 04. That was the year the Pistons won, right? What was that? 4-1, 4-0?
4-1.
4-1.
Gentlemen sweep.
You know, they fell. You know, they just didn't look good. Like, you know, but part of it is also the Pistons just outplayed them in every facet of the game, right? Then 05, the Spurs won again, you know, and then to them, you know, once Shaq left, the narrative became, could he do it without Shaq, right? Like, that was the thing. Like, could he do it without Shaq? And then Shaq went to Miami. They won the title in 06. And then what year? You guys, was that 09 when they had like Steve Nash? No, they won that year. Was it 08?
No, they that was 2000.
After?
I think it was 2012.
I think that was 12 because that's the
Yeah, I
year
think
he
it was
tore his
2012.
Achilles.
Yep.
Remember,
So
he was
anyway-
trying to wheel them to the playoffs and shit,
Yeah.
playing absurd minutes at his age and tore his Achilles.
Yep.
So then he won 2 with, and I got to say, this isn't disrespect to that team, but those two, that roster was not nowhere close to like an all-star superstar roster. Like,
yeah, it's
that
2012,
roster,
by the way.
it was 2012.
Yeah, it was
That
2012.
roster that,
Yeah, it's
that
the Achilles year.
those 2 he won with Powell, I was like, with that roster, like, it's crazy. So, to me, just watching Kobe in real time, the narrative has always changed for his career. No matter what, they've always moved the goalpost on him. So now, you know, and you know, we all watch his videos, his motivation. We all know Kobe was really a different person. But for them to, you know, disrespect him and leave him out of the top 10 is insane. It's insane.
And I'm a Steph Curry fan, so I'm not saying that Steph Curry doesn't deserve to get that notch to get into the top 10. But if Steph Curry's going to get that notch to get into the top 10, then I'm sorry, it might be time to start letting some of these other guys who are just holding down spots for reasons outside of the court, you know what I'm saying, start to dwindle down as well. Hey man, look. Say what you want to say about me. It's time for Bill Russell's ass to be up off the top 10. I don't care nothing about them 11 rings in a 5-team league.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Exactly.
10, what was it, 10 teams or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
It's 9 teams.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it that way. It's not that I don't care, but it's like, bro, it's just things transcend. And a lot of times with transcending comes modern, and with modern comes different levels. You know what I'm saying? It's like, think about it. We are the same age. We grew up in the same era. Pokemon. Yep. You had Charmander. What was the next stage after Charmander? Was it
Charmeleon?
Charmeleon. Yep, Charmeleon. Then Charizard. Evolution. Yep. You know what I'm saying? He got better. He got bigger. He got more powerful. And with that, other Pokemon got bigger, better, powerful. So it's a harder battle now. You know what I'm saying? It's a harder battle. So it doesn't weigh the same, is what I'm saying. We can respect it for what it is and for its error, but when it just doesn't weigh the same, hey, it might be somewhere 25, 30, 40 years from now where we saying that it's time for Michael Jordan to be, you know, or Magic, or Steph or LeBron, any to dwindle down because somebody might come along, and you know what I'm saying. So that's just the test of time. But man, I'm not saying Tim Duncan doesn't deserve to be in the top 10, but I could make a strong debate for Kobe being in that spot. You know what I'm saying? But personally, for me, and I ended with this because I'm gonna ask y'all a question. For me, Kobe top 2, and
Yeah.
that's
Oh
just me.
no
But
doubt.
when you hear a lot of these players, even Dwayne Wade, who played with LeBron, has recently said, when you come and talk to us who really played, like the Hoopers who played against this man or played in this era, he top 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It came out his own mouth. You know what I'm saying? So if they themselves would look at this man as top 3, as the players that played against them, the players that actually do it, I want to ask y'all this question. If you erase Michael Jordan from the game of basketball, who would be recognized as the GOAT today?
It'll be Kobe.
My point exactly.
No, and that's the thing, because you know what, and this is real talk. And I had a conversation with somebody about this because they want to argue about how Kobe's not top 5. I said, all right, I pretty much said the same thing. If you take Michael Jordan out the picture, who's number 1? And they said, well, probably LeBron. I said, okay, how many rings LeBron got? Because this is what they argue about. They'll say, oh, well, he's been in game 20 years. He did this and that. Kobe got 5, bro. I don't care how many people want to debate and say, well, 3 was with Shaq and what. He got 5 rings. Winning 5 times is hard. If it was
It
easy,
is.
then LeBron would have won it. LeBron did any and everything to win 5 rings. He can't even crack 5. He got
And
4.
let's not forget that him and Shaq were together, even though he was younger. They were
Exactly.
together, you know what I'm saying? What, a good 4 years before they won
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So,
And
you
that's
know
what
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying. He played with everybody. If you look at who he played with Ray Allen. He played with who else he played with? That's a
Chris
Hall of
Bosh,
Famer.
Dwayne Wade, Shane
Chris Fox,
Battier.
Dwayne Ray, Shane Battier, Mike Miller. Now he's playing with Luca. It's like, yo, he played with Matt, Anthony Davis. This list goes on and on and on and on and on. Top 75 player after top 75 player. How many more people do you need to play with to win a championship? It was Pau Gasol and Kobe and some random
And
dudes.
Lamar Odom.
And
I'm
Lamar
gonna give
Odom.
Lamar
Yeah, you
Odom
gotta
his
you
credit.
gotta give
And
Lamar Odom.
I give Andrew Bynum his credit for that first one the year when they played against
Oh, hell
Orlando.
yeah.
He was in his bag at that point.
Hell
Remember, it
yeah.
was a debate for a second who the best center was between him and Dwight Howard
That's facts.
when he was
That is
healthy.
facts. But see,
But
that's what I'm saying. It takes a different level of leadership. It takes a different level
yes,
of like being a winner to get to that level.
around that, yeah, to be bred to be that way.
Yeah,
Like
like you
them
can't just sit
championships
here and
didn't just
pretend.
come.
You know what I'm saying? You can't pretend this man did not carry a team. And I'm not saying he did it by himself, because that's impossible. But what I'm saying is everyone written him off after Shaq left. Everybody did, including myself. I said, "Yo, it's gonna be some dark days in LA." I said that. I didn't. It wasn't like I didn't believe in Kobe, but I knew as a team they couldn't go out there and win championships like they did without Shaq. But he proved me wrong. I was like, "Oh shoot." I'm like, "Yo, this dude is really like the second coming of Jordan. That's the closest
Yeah.
thing you got to Jordan."
Well, I'm gonna say this. When I look at when you look at Kobe Bryant, right? I look at him the same way I look at Chris Brown. Chris Brown will be the closest thing we ever see to Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
Chris Brown's music may not be as great as Michael's music or impactful, I'll say, right? But with the moves and just the popularity, that's as close as we're going to get. And it's the same thing here.
We might have to have this discussion offline.
Well, in terms of dance moves,
you're not gonna sit up here. If Chris Brown is Usher, I mean, if Chris Brown is Kobe, then Usher is LeBron. Then I guess, because it's a strong debate there.
Yeah,
Usher is definitely. We ain't gonna forget about Uncle Us now.
What I'm saying is, with that, when it comes to replicating, Usher never tried to replicate Michael Jackson, right? Like Usher did.
Yes, he did.
Everybody tried to replicate Michael.
I don't think he tried. No, I'm not saying. You don't see Usher out here with the whole 9 wearing the same shit Michael wears. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, he did.
When?
He wore leather, all that type of stuff.
Look back at his first album. I mean, his second album, My Way, and 8701.
Oh,
so he wore the hat, the gloves, the socks. He wore the whole Michael outfit.
He stole his.
No, but it was like what we just talked about, modernizing. Right. It was a modernized look of Michael. 8701. You had the beanie with the leather motorcycle jacket. That's
the dance moves. The dance moves. Tank top. Yep.
We're just gonna agree to disagree on that. Let me get back to my regular point. We're just gonna agree to disagree.
But you see it though. You see it.
There was no way you're gonna get me to believe that. No way. The point is that
you gonna listen to the 8701 album like, damn, these dudes are right.
8701 could never touch any Michael album. Come on, guys.
I didn't say as far as his impact. I'm saying like his style.
Confessions could though.
Yeah, Confessions up there with Thriller. With Thriller.
Certified Diamond.
Confessions is one of the greatest albums ever.
Exactly. It's up there. It's up there with Thriller. It's not better, but it's up there though. But go ahead.
Yeah, I could give it that. You can give it that. But they're always moving the goalposts on Kobe. Always changing the narrative. And the thing is, Kobe has 5 rings. Kobe is, I think he made defensive team 12 times. A stat no one ever talks about. Like it's not even discussed what he's done outside of those rings. So like when I look at players, rings is a part of it. But what else did they do to make an impact, right? No, everyone forgets. What's the most games scored? What's the most points scored in the game? 100. 100, right?
Nah, 81. 81. I never seen it. I want to see video footage of that 100 game.
They're always gonna acknowledge the 100 points.
All we got is the picture.
So for us, we've never seen. I think Devin Booker was the closest I've seen. I remember him scoring 70 in a game.
It's like 70 something, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him scoring 70.
What's the name? Donovan Mitchell last season or season 4 last scored 71.
71. Oh yeah, and then they drug tested him after the game.
He got the 100.
Then they drug tested him like, nah, homie.
Nah, that shit never happened. Let's keep it real.
So I'm just saying they moved the goalpost. He's got, he's been a multiple time All-Star, and to me, yes, he was a second coming of Michael Jordan in a sense, but he was still his own player. He was still
He definitely was still his own player.
Yeah, because even though Michael was a closer, Michael didn't have the same killer instinct. Like there was something about Kobe with that killer instinct that just no other player ever had, and no other player will have again. Like, I'm sure you both watched the the thing they did on the Olympics when he was saying how I know what they're gonna run. First play of the game, I'm running through Powell's fucking chest. And they're like, what? That's your teammate. He ran that man over. Yo, like he was like, nah. He ran that man over. So for him, this is for me, it's not even a question. It's not even a question that he's in the top 3. Because my list is as follows: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Magic, Kareem, Duncan, Shaq, Bird, Curry, and Dwayne Wade. Because I love me some Dwayne Wade. I ain't gonna even hold you. What he did in that 2006 NBA Finals was like something like I hadn't seen, at least at that time. Like that just watching that in real time was crazy. But to not have Kobe,
when they played Dallas.
Yeah, and they were down 0-2, and then suddenly he said, fuck y'all, I got this. Yeah. Like that nigga was doing
that was prime Dwayne Wade.
That was special. You know, but for them to not have Kobe, like hell, like listen, even if you like, and I get these lists are all subjective, right? Like I understand, you know, why you put LeBron at 2, but shit, to not even have him in the top 10, like you said, R&B, to have guys ahead of him that don't even have as many rings as him. You know, like you know, you look at, all right, Jordan has 6. All right, fine. LeBron has 4. Kareem has, I believe, 6, right?
Yeah. No. 5 with the Lakers, 1 with Milwaukee.
Yeah, right here. Kareem has 6.
Yeah.
Magic has
5 with the Lakers, 1 with Milwaukee. Magic at 5.
But like you said here, you got Russell with 11. But now this is where the narrative gets weird. To me, it's like, all right, when he was playing, there was like 8 teams in the league, right? So you can't discredit him or blame him for that time, but we got Shaq. Shaq's got 4. Duncan's got 5. Bird has 3. Wilt has 2. Curry has 4. You know, it's just a shame. A sad shame. You know, he deserved better, you know, on this list. But what are you guys' list? Top 10 players ever?
Hold on.
Right off the bat, I gotta just say Jordan, of course, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got Kobe number 2. I gotta put LeBron number 3. Magic.
That looked like it hurt your feelings too.
Yeah, because you know what it is, like legacy wise, and like him playing in the league 20 plus years. Like I gotta put him number 3. Magic number 4. 5, I gotta put Kareem. 6, I gotta put I'll put Tim Duncan there. 7, I'll put Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay.
8, I gotta put man, 8 is tough. 8, 9, and 10 are really, really tough because I'm a Melo fan, even though he never won nothing but gold medals. So I'm gonna put Melo there because he won gold medals, number 8. But that's my man, though. He won everything but the chip in the NBA. Number 8, number 9, I gotta put Dwayne Wade, and then number 10, I gotta put Shaq. And I put him down that list because even though Shaq was very dominant, and he probably was one of the best big men in the game, I don't think he wins any rings by himself. Just my personal opinion. Yeah.
When you say by himself, what do you mean?
Like him being the leading guy. Like I think there's always got to be a point guard or a shooting guard that can assist him in him winning a
I think
championship.
that's any big man though. Name me
Nah,
one big
not
man
really.
that's name me one big man that's won a championship that didn't need the assistance of a guard to assist them.
Well,
That's why their position should be somewhat what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say disrespected or for lack of a better way of saying it, slighted.
okay,
Because someone has to get them the ball. You know what I'm saying? Guards can go get it on their own.
I'll give you one, and y'all don't like it, but I gotta give you it.
And no, he has Jamal Murray.
Nah,
It's not gonna work, bro.
nah,
It's not gonna work.
nah.
When they
It
won the
works.
championship,
It works.
Jamal Murray.
It
No,
works. It
bro.
works. You
When they
take
won the
Jamal Murray.
championship, Jamal
You
Murray was
you
was
not.
still at his best peak.
Nah,
He was
man.
definitely
And
balling. He balled the fuck out.
you gonna act like your new accusation didn't have something to do with it either?
Who?
Michael Porter Jr. played pretty well in that finals too.
Yeah, but nah, man. No, I'm talking about being a leader. I'm talking about being the guy. Like everybody was guarding Jokic.
Shaq. What? Do you not remember the fucking screenshot clip of Shaq dunking on all 5 of the New Jersey Nets in the finals?
Listen, man.
All
I
5
get
of them
that.
trying to get his big ass and
I, I
got dunked on.
I get that. But what I'm
Come
saying
on,
to
bro.
you is, I'm talking
No,
about.
stop, Raj. You
Nah,
embarrassing
man.
yourself.
Y'all don't understand. Look, even though I didn't put him as my top 10 because he only got one ring, but damn it, he's the best big man that ever exists. He's the best big man that ever exists. I don't care what nobody say. Jokic
Joker?
is yes.
No.
If he gets
He's
one more,
cold.
if he gets one more MVP, I'm going on a limb and saying he's the greatest. He's better than Mike.
Oh my God. Jesus. No.
Because
No.
Mike, look. All right, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Mike is a great player, right? Mike is the greatest.
Raj,
He's a GOAT.
would
He's a
you
GOAT.
stop embarrassing yourself?
Hold on. Listen. 2 seconds. But
We
Mike,
don't want to listen to this.
I know you don't. But look, Mike
See,
never had a
my podcast light even fell over, bro. Because you're doing some crazy noise right now.
yo. Come on, man. All right, I'll stop. We'll do a whole show on this, man.
Come on, man, go ahead. Let's do it. Let's get it out.
No,
Get it
you
out. Get it
already
out.
started.
What I'm
Get
saying
it
is,
invested now, so go ahead.
all right, hear me out. What I'm
We
saying is,
already over 2 hours.
that is facts.
That's
Michael
all right.
Jordan.
We can end with this.
Michael Jordan is probably the best scorer, the best defender in his position, right? But Jokic does everything. He passes, he rebounds, and he assists. Mike never averaged 10 assists, 10 rebounds.
But
Never.
that don't mean he couldn't. It wasn't his job detail to do it. Let's not act like we can't go back. Let's not act like we can't go back and pull stats where Michael Jordan averaged a triple-double when they was playing him at point guard in his early
When?
days.
He wasn't averaging a triple-double. He wasn't averaging a triple-double. That's my point.
I'm not talking about like a season average or no shit like that. I'm saying like he's had spans where I'll look it up for you.
Nah, I get he was putting up triple-doubles, but what I'm saying is I'm talking about for the whole damn season. I'm talking about for 40, 44 games, 45 games of putting up triple-doubles. This man is the greatest center to ever play. And he might be low-key the greatest player to ever play if he keeps going in his direction. If he wins one more championship or one more MVP, I'm going on the limb and say he's a GOAT.
With 2 rings and
So
2
80
MVPs.
But you understand,
Yeah.
he plays in a small market and he got no help. Jamal Murray is not an all-star. Michael Porter Jr. is not an all-star.
But they still have
Aaron Gordon is not an all-star.
Just
but
because
you're missing the point. They still have to help assist him. He He's not going to get a bucket on his own, bro. Not like that.
Oh, he can get a bucket on his own.
Not like a guard. It's
He
a
can
lot of ball
can.
movement, passing around and shit. That where he finally get to a spot where he comfortable and he pull it or whatever the case may be. How he do? You see how they play.
He is the guard. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to tell you. He's the guard. He's the center. He's the shooter. He does everything, man. Statistically last season, he had the best season ever, and they just robbed him of the MVP. Nikola Jokic is a big man that does everything.
Well, we know what that was about. That was about voters' fatigue more than anything else.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
Was winning no matter what.
He had 29, 12, and 10. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You are like that's the first time you done heard a stat like that. Plenty people done had a stat like that or
29,
better.
12, and 10?
You don't hear nobody running around talking about, oh, James Harden is the best two guard of this era. He had 60-something, 20-something, and 210. Or like, come on, bro.
29, 12, and 10. And he was shooting 41% from the three. 41%, bro. As a big man, Shaq wish he can do that.
From three?
41%. This dude had a perfect season.
He didn't have to shoot 41% from the three-point line because he can go down on the block and shoot 63.
And that's what Jokic did. He shot 62% from the two. How about that?
Congratulations to him. Still don't mean shit.
Y'all just don't like Jokic.
Ain't about
it's not
liking.
that I don't like it. This I'm not about to become a yoke sexual like you.
Sexual. Jeez. A yoke sexual. Jesus Christ.
And just get his man this crown so early. Like, can I get a little bit more first before I get to putting them in that type of category? You act like these people where they be trying to run around talking about Anthony Edwards is the face of the league. Where?
Because he's not.
My man said
you doing all this sweeping overage legends out of the playoffs every year, but then when you get to the Western Conference Finals where it's all all about that thing to get to that chip, you come up short.
Every time.
Struggle bad coming up short.
Every time.
I'm talking about shooting the ball horrible.
He falls under the bright lights. Yeah, it's bad.
This is Shay's league.
He's definitely not the face of the league, though.
Who?
Shay.
SGA.
Yeah, nah.
You ain't feeling Shay?
No, I like him. I just think that he just doesn't want that spotlight. I think he's a great player. I just think that he just don't want that recognition.
Absolutely. So, I see you did some gatekeeping there.
Who?
I see what you said. I see what you just said in the chat. So,
yeah.
The last thing, well, actually, just a quick take for this R&B. If Raj, if you want to answer it quick.
Yep.
Do you have R&B any concern over the Lions coaching staff with having all these new coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? I believe you have a new tight end coach. There's something else. There was like 4. There's one more. Just can't remember it off the hand. But do you have any concerns about having pretty much a brand new coaching staff going into the season?
I mean, whenever you're talking about coaching changes, especially when you're talking about like the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, those are like your coaches that are right under your head coach and your assistant, head coach or whatever. So it's always going to be, some cause for concern in those types of situations. But I'd probably say if I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe about 4.5 right now. Maybe about 4.5 right now. Because I'm still holding on that I feel like this regime with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell is what we believe and what we've seen to be different so far. And they have not had issues in the past of firing assistant coaches in the middle of the season. So if something was to go awry and they feel like a change is needed to be made, I have full confidence that they will move forward to do so. So with that, being said, that they will be willing to make those types of moves. It kind of keeps the worry half down, or just under half down right now. It's at let's see stage.
Yeah, I think you guys, you have all the same players, right? The only thing I would like to see more of this season from the Lions is utilizing Laporta more. His usage from his rookie year to last year went way down. Like I believe in the sophomore slump, but it just seemed like with this particular situation, um, that they weren't calling plays for him. It seemed like. I mean, I ain't a coordinator, but that's what it looked like to me. But I think you guys definitely still have an opportunity. You guys won your division last season. Your division, you're going to run into Green Bay and battle with them. They're hoping Chicago will be better. I don't personally see them being much better, but hey, maybe Caleb will figure it out. And, there's a lot of faith in the Vikings up there in Minnesota. So we'll see what that happens. You got anything to add to that, Raj?
Yeah, no, it's I feel the same way. It's nothing really to be concerned about. It's something to monitor right at this moment. But I do believe in what Dan Campbell got. I believe in the team. I think last year was one of those years they learned a lot from their mistakes. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I get it. There was a lot of mistakes. Like you said, Laporta production was down, but that's something that can be fixed going into this upcoming season, especially now with the NFC being as wide open as it is. They should be able to go ahead and just get this done and don't even worry about what happened last season, like kind of erase last season and just move forward.
Right, because it's kind of like I remember when I had first started at my new job, I had this really bad day. Like you ever have one of those days where like just every little thing is going wrong. Like every stop I went to, there's a problem. And this and that. And I ended up punching out 8:00 at night. And I went in the next day. I was talking to another driver. His name's Alan, and we were just talking. And I was just like, he's like, "How you like the job so far?" I'm like, "It's all right. Yesterday was a bad day." And then he said, "That was yesterday. Today's a new day." So I kind of use that like, kind of like, all right, well, like they won already. So now who's going to win next? Or, like you just got to build, like you don't forget, but you have to move forward because time cannot go backwards.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We just witnessed the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl, and we already know how that goes. For them to win the Super Bowl again, it's like they're going to have a target on their back. Every single game is going to be a Super Bowl to somebody else. So that's what I'm saying. They're one of those teams that can sneak up and get that NFC title. They can take it if they focus and if they do what they did for the past couple seasons. I think they can do it. And this is another season where they're together. There's not a lot of changing pieces, so I think they can definitely make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, boys, well over 2 hours today. We did miss last week, so that's why I just let it run a little longer. Was there anything else that you really want to cover that needs to be covered now or you'd like to cover that I missed or what have you?
Larissa Seals with another victory Saturday night. Main event in the pay-per-view here in Detroit at Little Caesars Arena. She retained the championship. I think she took old girl belt, if I'm not mistaken. It was a pretty good bout from start to finish. some good undercards, good main event.
Okay.
And also on other news, y'all know we lost a legend this past week. A few legends actually.
Yeah.
Malcolm Jamal Warner and that
Can't
piece
forget
of shit
Ozzy.
Hulk Hogan.
Can't forget Ozzy.
Ozzy, the piece of shit Hulk Hogan. I just
I forgot
want to say
about
it. I gotta
that.
say it, Mike. May he rest in shit.
And can I, I really was gonna skip it because I knew it could turn into something, but now I just have to say this because I have to say this. There's been, I feel like his death created so much online division, and like, and it shouldn't have. Like, okay,
You know he
people,
never apologized for that shit, right?
Why would he?
no.
He meant it. He
I
meant it.
here's my belief on this, right? Is that what he said, when you're angry and you say something, that's how you feel. Now, a lot of people have gone on and said, well, he said a bad word 15 years ago. I said no. He targeted a set of people and utilized that word to talk about his target, and then also talked about how that target's only good to play basketball, right? So now it becomes a bigger thing, So WWE needs to take their part in messing up too. Because if I were Vince McMahon at that time, when I wanted to bring, because they separated themselves from him for a while, but if I were Vince McMahon, I'm like, okay, you want to come back, or we want you to come back. They needed a WWE special. He needed to sit down with Booker T because he's the right man for the job, and he needed to tell whatever his side was at that time. Now, would it have fixed anything amongst the black community? No. Would it have been taken with a grain of salt? Yes, but it was out there. It was out there, and we could have moved forward from it, right? Because eventually we got to move forward. We ain't got to forget about it. We ain't got to get over it, but we have to move forward with it, from it, right?
I believe black people have moved forward though.
Yeah,
That
no,
we just
we
gonna
weren't
say how we feel.
right. We're not
Like
thinking about it.
you can say how you feel and still be to move forward. Rest in shit.
Yeah, but like even like Devon Dudley brought Hogan up in his Hall of Fame speech. He said people even told me I looked like Hogan. I'm like, bro, come on. You black
man. We Mike. We both know Devon Dudley is a token nigga.
Exactly. Let me just say this real quick about that, and that's pretty much it with my part. When an athlete or a public figure say these type of things, they mean it. They mean it because they know exactly what they're doing. They've been trained to speak to the media. They've been trained to answer certain questions and certain things. So if a person can spew that type of hatred, man, I've got no remorse for him. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Macho Man Randy Savage was trying to tell us who he was. He been told us that Hulk Hogan's a piece of shit. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. So it is what it is. I'm not mentioning him because he's irrelevant to my life, and he's always been irrelevant to my life because I never rocked with what he represented, even before I knew about what he said. I just never resonated with Hulk Hogan.
I've never been a Hulk Hogan guy either, to be honest with you. But
ever. I mean, I was always a Macho Man guy. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, he resonated with me. And at the end of the day, if that's the hill he wanted to die on, so be it. But he's gonna have to just answer to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people outraged. I know there's a few celebrities that's out there talking about, oh, we should forgive him. Nah, F all that. You said what you said. Live with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and and to those people, I have said to people, "Oh man, this gets their blood grueling, gets their blood boiling." I'm like, "Well, if you can forgive Hulk Hogan, you should be able to forgive Chris Benoit."
Exactly.
And they're like, "I'm like,
Yeah,
what?"
no,
I'm like, "He did something horrific too. He's a piece of
yeah,
shit for that too." And
exactly.
listen, when it comes to Hogan, then like people try and make excuses like, "Well, he was a person, Terry Bollea. I'm like, it don't matter who his alter ego was. But what I'm saying is, I'm just like, Benoit's a piece of shit for what he did.
Yep.
There have been other people who have went on record saying Hulk Hogan's a piece of shit, including his own fucking daughter,
Yeah.
like saying that he's a piece of shit. Like she said something that I read or I heard just like 2 days ago where she said something like to the effect of, he could have called me and told me he loved me while he was on his deathbed and I wouldn't have believed it.
Exactly. What does that
You
tell
know,
you? That's his own daughter.
and like that's the thing, because exactly. Because like for me, that's why like I always tell people be like, "Oh, what do you want to do with your podcasting?" I was like, "Bro, I just want to make six figures." That like,
Yeah.
they're like, "Really? You don't want to be famous?" I'm like, "No, because people are always in your business. Like
Yep.
you can't have like any type of a life. Like people are
Mm-hmm.
always gonna be looking and checking. Listen, like we all do media, so part of the job as what I do with Honest Hour is to get stories. Like the interview I got coming out tomorrow. I remember in recording it, they were giving me a lot of stuff coming up. And they were like,
Yeah.
listen, you done got about 16 exclusives out of us. We got to keep something. But that's the job, is to get the information, right? That's
Right.
part of the job. So, like, think about it. Do y'all know how that tape came out?
No.
His friend, or so he thought, was recording this rant, and then he sold it. He
It was.
sold it.
I thought it was supposed to have been I thought it was a female that recorded him.
Might have
What
been.
did it
I thought
like some type of alleged sex tape or something like that?
might have been. I thought it was a guy. It might have been, but I know.
Yeah.
But who if it were or wasn't, whoever they like, listen,
Yeah.
I got this, and highest bidder gets the story first.
Yep.
Someone
Right.
if I got that kind of that kind of heat in my arsenal, and someone's like, all right, I'll give you 10 million for it. Okay, here you go. Like those things. So you never know who people are, but in the same sense, it's just like you said it. Don't matter, when or what.
I'm glad his friend did do it.
Yeah.
just clear it. All it did was just add clarification to what people already kind of was saying. Like you said, Macho Man had been saying for years or whatever. Like
Yep. He's been saying that he's a piece of shit.
and so have others. But
Yeah.
I like dude literally said, if you gonna I'm paraphrasing. If you
Mm-hmm.
gonna fuck a nigger that
An
that's
8 foot
8 foot
tall
stars and
nigger
make
like
money.
an 8
Like
foot
a
tall
basketball
nigger like
player.
a basketball player.
Yeah. And he meant that because that's how most of them think. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And
And
it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
yeah, we ain't forgiving him for that.
Nah, you just
And
can't.
and think about that though. That's how scandalous they can be though. Because let's say she did date a baller, you know what I'm saying, that was making bread or something like that. That's gonna give because he making bread, that's gonna give his approval, right? So now every time old boy come around, he gonna be feeling accepted because he's smiling and laughing in his face because he approve of his money status. But then
Exactly.
when he turn around and walk away, he sip his beer, I got that nigger in line.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And you know
Rest in
what?
shit.
And one of the things that we got to keep in mind, fellas, us all being black and successful, fathers and stuff like that. is that at the end of the day, there's 90% of them that sits in those high positions, or those NBA teams and those NFL teams that feel the exact same way. So
Facts.
when they treat, well, like we was talking about earlier, Mike, with Terry McLaurin,
Yeah.
when we see these type of contract, disputes going back and forth, I always keep that in mind. That there's 75 to 90% of them that are owners that view them the same way Hulk Hogan views us. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So we can look at it for a fairy tale and say, oh well, nah, not all of them are like that, or we can look at it for reality and say majority of them are, and that's just it. One of them being the Dallas Cowboy owners, Jerry Jones.
Oh, God.
just throwing that out there.
10-inch dick.
I mean, he got the measurements down. That is wild. That goes to show you, man. He
That's
don't look at
wild.
us being human. He look at us being subhumans, and that's sad. And when a person shows who they are, believe it.
Yeah,
Believe the truth.
you got one chance.
Yep.
So
Believe the truth and not the fairy sale,
Exactly.
because they sell you on that shit. It's not a fairy tale, it's a fairy sale.
Facts.
absolutely. Well, boys, it was a good show. You know, we will be back next week on Monday. I had to think for a second there. I don't know why. I'm just tired. It was a long, hot day. I'm like, heat kills me. Want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you both for coming on and chopping it up. We will be back next week. And that's all I got. I'll leave it to you guys to close.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out, listening to us. Back next week. Peace.
Peace.
See y'all later.
There we go.